when you're denying that there's anything wrong, when there actually is stuff wrong, it's not that you're thinking negatively. Okay, it's actually more negative, more detrimental, more harmful for you to say it's okay when it's actually not. If you keep saying it's okay when it's not okay, you're actually not thinking positively. You're actually hindering yourself and blocking yourself. The positivity in that is the truth of reality, whether it's perceived as positive or negative. Okay, the truth, there's nothing but positivity in the truth. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? What a glorious, beautiful day to be alive. So, I wanted to talk with you guys today about blind optimism. Okay, blind optimism. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you is because I see it all the time when I'm on breakthrough calls. I see it all the time. People have their justifications and their rationalizations as to, why they are where they are, why they are where they are, and that, there's just always some sort of, and I understand, but there's always just some sort of justification or reason to stay the way they are or to put their faith in divine timing and all that stuff. And now I'm not saying not to put your faith in divine timing, but that also doesn't mean that you sit idly by waiting something to happen for you. You're actively going out there, being fluid, and I mean, you're not forcing anything, but you're also not waiting in the sidelines for something to happen. And so I wanted to address this blind optimism because we could perceive that we really are being optimistic and being in full faith and connection with the universe when actually what we're doing is hiding behind the excuse of putting the faith in God or putting the faith in Creator, or that you're so focused on not thinking negatively that you can't even admit the truth to yourself. And that is what I wanted to talk with you about today. So I have my handy dandy notebook and we are going to get started. So thinking positive is not the same as blind optimism. Okay. Thinking positive and blind optimism are two completely different things. So thinking positive is being able to look at a challenge or situation through the lens of what can I learn from this? How is this actually a blessing? How can I grow from this? Right? That is thinking positive. When you're not thinking positive, obviously that's like, oh, this always happens to me. You become a victim to that circumstance. You go into that victim mentality, that why me mentality, this always happens to me mentality. That's the negative thinking, right? But thinking positive is finding the beauty amongst the chaos, right? Thinking positive is finding the benefits of going through this challenge and then also seeing it through, not just talking about it or pointing it out, like actually following through on the clarity that you receive while going through the challenge, right? Now, what you don't want to do, which is under the bracket of blind optimism, is you don't want to pretend it's not there. You don't want to be delusional or dismiss it. In whether the truth about your situation is perceived positive or negative, right? If you're stagnant and you are so gung-ho that everything will be brought to you by God at the exact right moment, yes, that is true, but God also does not want you sitting there idly by with your finger up your nose. And then you don't do anything about it, right? God gave us free will for a reason, okay? So if we are denying the truth, right? Because the truth, it sets you free. If it's like, okay, I've been letting my thoughts control me, right? I've been letting that inner critic plummet my self-confidence, or I've been cheating on my nutrition, right? I've been choosing fast food over cooked home meals, or owning the truth that I've been skipping the gym, right? Owning the truth. I've actually been lashing out at my partner more often than I really should be, or whatever it is. I've let my mood get the best of me, right? Until that truth is said, you cannot move forward. Okay, until the truth gives you clarity, and clarity gives you knowledge, and it gives you the ability to move forward. So if we have been hard on ourselves, if we have been hard on our spouses, if we've been hard on our kids, if we've been neglectful of our self-care, if we've been neglectful of actually pursuing our spiritual growth and spiritual development, own it. Okay, because even if it's perceived negatively, it is a gift. The truth, that moment in the mirror where you look yourself in your eyes and you own up where you've been falling short, that is a gift. It opens you up. You're seeing it as you're the old version of yourself, right? Because if you come to that state of knowledge, that state of wisdom, then you're seeing it through an observer's eye, which means that there's a chance, 99.9% chance, there could be other factors in it too, but 99% chance that you have actually leveled up, and now you must call out that old version of yourself in order for you to become the new, right? In order for it to become the new, in order for you to become the new. So again, until you actually admit to yourself that you've been hiding behind the divine timeline to take action, or you've been hiding behind, the excuse of, well, my partner pisses me off, right? Until you stop hiding behind those excuses, you will never break past that barrier. It's always going to keep you anchored down. Thinking positively is putting that positive twist on there that is in the lens or the spectrum of growth, rather than denying that there's anything wrong. When you're denying that there's anything wrong, when there actually is stuff wrong, it's not that you're thinking negatively. Okay, it's actually more negative, more detrimental, more harmful for you to say it's okay when it's actually not. If you keep saying it's okay when it's not okay, you're actually not thinking positively. You're actually hindering yourself and blocking yourself. The positivity in that is the truth of reality, whether it's perceived as positive or negative. Okay, the truth, there's nothing but positivity in the truth. When you own up to it, when you admit to yourself that you've been doing less than you know of your potential, it is then and only then that you can cross that threshold and step into that power, and then truly step into that positivity. But if you're denying that you have a negative mindset, if you're denying that you're having negative thoughts, if you're denying that you have self-doubt, then you're only creating more of it. You cannot heal yourself from a place of denial. You have to own up and be truthful. I totally get in divine timing. Trust me, I have played with that on my own, in my own divine timing, in my own spiritual journey, right? You don't hide behind the fact that you're waiting for your divine timing. That's an excuse. Divine timing, yes, certain events have to happen in order for you to reach and level up. But do you want to be sitting idly on the sidelines, making your divine timing delayed by like 10 years? If you actively take action, and if you actively self-improve, and you connect and create not only a better relationship with yourself, but also in your connection and strengthen your connection to Creator, that is when the floodgates open. That is when you become the master of your own divine timeline. Because I'm telling you, you cannot control your divine timeline, but you do have influence over it. And you can delay it or you can accelerate it. And based on your actions, your willingness to be honest with yourself, your willingness to change, your willingness to pay the price of your dream, you can influence it and accelerate it. Okay? If you are justifying, if you're saying it's okay, I leave it up to God. Okay. If you're using excuses or leveraging reasons, which is actually using excuses, or saying okay when it's really not, you are robbing yourself of your highest potential. You are robbing yourself of your greatest lifetime. Okay. Again, thinking positive and blind optimism is not the same thing. Thinking positive is being able to own up that there is a shit ton of obstacles ahead of you, but what is the gift in that? Owning up and saying negative things are happening to me, perceived negative things are happening to me, but I'm not going to let them get me down. What can I learn from this? How can I expand in this? What is this teaching me? How can I grow? That is thinking positively. Okay. When you're blindly optimistic, you're sticking your head in the sand. You're using the ostrich strategy, right? And you're saying, no, this isn't happening. No, this isn't happening. It's okay. Everything will be all right. Okay. It's no problem. Let's just pretend this isn't happening. Let's just focus on thinking positive. I'm thinking positive. I'm thinking positive. And then you have to force yourself to think positive. That is detrimental. Now, you do want to break the patterns and stop the negative thinking. Yes, that's a whole different conversation. Okay, that's breaking the neural pathways. That's breaking the patterns. That's stopping the biochemistry that is producing that hormone stimulation that is creating that biochemistry. Sorry, I said that a little backwards. Okay, because when a thought creates an emotion, and that emotion ignites hormones, which ignites bodily chemistry, and your body can get addicted to that body chemistry. It gets addicted to that thought because it gets addicted to those hormones, and then it's just like the neural pathways keep firing and keep firing and keep firing, and then it becomes autopilot, and then it just becomes a part of who you are. Right? That is, there needs to be, it will get to a point where there is a death of the old self, the death of the old neural pathways, the death of the hormone production, the death of the thought process, the death of the genetic chemistry and coding. Okay. It takes time to get there, but you will not get there if you're delusionally optimistic. Okay. Yes, there is a gift in every single challenge. Every single challenge that you face, there is a gift of growth, expansion, knowledge, and wisdom on the other side every single time. Now, if you stick your head in the sand and say that it's not happening to you, or you're not thinking negatively about it, or that you're not stressed about it, or that you never let stress overcome you, that's resistance. That's not fluid. Okay. It is okay. We make it wrong to say and admit that we're experiencing anxiety, that we're experiencing fear or experiencing stress. It's when we can call out, name it, and claim it and say, look, I'm experiencing, keyword, I am experiencing stress right now. Okay. And then allowing yourself to move through it, not cling to it. You don't want to cling to it and say, oh my God, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. Right? Because that's when you take ownership of it, and then you become a stressed out individual. Okay. Stress is wanting the world to be as you want it, not the way that it actually is. Okay. In those moments when you are experiencing that anxiousness, that fear, that stress, right? Allow yourself to say, it's okay that you're feeling this way. It's okay that you're feeling this way. And then give yourself the space to process why you were experiencing it. And then after you diagnose why, right? What is the trigger? What was the thing that made me fall from grace? What is the thing that put me off kilter? What was the thing that put me on autopilot? Once you diagnose that, then you can better move forward in reprogramming yourself, because it is in those moments where you accidentally default on your autopilot fear, anxiousness, and scarcity, or whatever it is for you, anger or hate, whatever it is for you. That is a gift, because it shines a light on what was the thing that triggered you, what was the thing that made you fall from that higher state of vibration and grace. And then you can preemptively, I think that's the right word, preemptively go back in, or what's the words I'm trying to say, preemptively prepare for that, so that when that moment or situation happens again, you're not held captive by it, right? So if you know that when your partner says, oh, what happened to you? Why are you in such a good mood? And usually that's the thing that gets you pissed off and goes down that spiral. He's like, you're like, don't patronize me, smart ass. Right? If you know that that's something that triggers you and makes you fall from grace, then you can be objective and observe and witness, and then play back in your mind how you would really want to react to that, right? That's the new version that you would rehearse in your mind. And so that you can stay in a place of self-empowerment, right? But if you stick your head in the sand and are like, oh, I won't get triggered next time. No, I'm not going to get triggered next time, because I do my meditation work and I do my hypnosis and I do belief stacks and I visualize. And so boom, I'm good, right? Yes, when you are rehearsing it in your mind, that is visualization, but it's more strategic and anchored in such a way that it is like you are telling your brain how it's going to function when a normal trigger happens. Visualization is more free, it's more magical, it's more free flowing, fluid, more emotions are involved. And don't get me wrong, when you are rehearsing it in your mind, you do want to have emotions involved, but again, it's more strategic, it's more intention based to overcome a pattern, right? Visualization is more for like harnessing the thought, the brain waves and the heart emotional electromagnetic field, so that you can create something. So just to recap here, thinking positive and blind optimism is not the same. Okay. Blind optimism is sticking your head in the sand, defaulting on excuses, hiding behind, I'm waiting for God's will, or I'm waiting for my answers from my guides, right? It's ultimately giving your power away and saying, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm going to let something or someone else handle it. Okay. Thinking positive is being able to state the truth and just state that I'm negative thinking right now. I'm stressed out. I'm experiencing stress right now. I'm going through a challenge right now. Being able to own up to that challenge and recognize that it's there, and then finding the gift in that, finding the expansion in that, finding the lesson in that, so that you don't have to repeat it. Okay, because in blind optimism, you will repeat it until you get knocked down on your ass. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.